And what I mean by 2 and 4 is like just literally, you know, if you're counting like bars. I don't know if you guys read music or anything,
I do.
but you do a little bit, kind of. You know, so if like you have a bar 4/4.
Yep.
So you know, there's 4 quarter notes.
Yeah.
You can divide those quarter notes any way you want. You know, 16th notes, 8th notes. So when I say 2 and 4, it's kind of like 2 and 4 on the snare, 1 and 3 on the kick drum, then like 8th notes on the hi hat.
Okay.
So 8th notes would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1 and 3 on the kick would just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then 2 and 4 is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, exactly. Like that feel, like once you can get that pocket down, then you start adding stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll teach you what I mean by adding stuff and what makes a swing, what makes the beat swing.
Yeah.
You know, because the only thing that can make a beat swing is the notes you play in between and how they're like I noticed they're using Reason over there or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's got a little swing on their thing, so you can be like, if you put a 16th note right before the 1, so if you got boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, ba-boom, bop, boom, bop. The only thing that's gonna, and if you start adding that kind of stuff, the only thing that determines that is what your swing is and how you interpret those notes to determine how the beat swings and what your feel is. So like in Reason, you can like play around with the shuffle.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have, you can make it go faster, so it's like, or that's straight, then it starts to swing. So it's how you interpret that swing is what determines like how your feel is, and why like you get hired, or like programmers, like beat makers, you know, they got to know this because they got to be like, how do I want this to feel? Do I want to lay the snare drum behind the beat, put the kick drum ahead of the beat a little bit? So like Prince, every time he has 2 and 4, he'll always like put the snare drum way behind the beat and put the kick drum ahead. So it has this kind of quirky, and you're kind of like, whoa, it feels a little awkward. It all starts from there. So, you know, that's why I was just saying that if you can get that 2 and 4 solid, then you start adding stuff. That's when like you can, because I think the coolest way to approach it is like to show that you got the groove, and then you start going off from there. I don't know. I just want to check out everybody's like 2 and 4, and then see what you guys got to add. Want to go first? Yeah. Like take the same tempo, like, you know, like 1, 2. The thing I was noticing is when you started adding extra notes, you were kind of speeding up. So like what I would do is before you even get into like adding something, I would say just let it sit for a while. So you really feel like boom, got, boom, got, boom, got, boom, got. Like just do it again, but let that go for about, let's say, 30 seconds. Then start adding something and really just concentrate, you know, on like the time as you start adding stuff. I don't know if anybody else knows, you know what I mean? You kind of sped up. Because once you lock into something, everybody they feel it too, and like everybody can feel 2 and 4. Yeah. So it's just like, if you start like wavering off that, people will be like, oh, like it's slipping a little, you know, nowadays like everything's determined off of machines and stuff, so everybody's programming, and a lot of times they use the quantize, so they're used to shit just being perfect.
Right on.
Yeah, where the old school stuff, it wavered, but now it's like really solid. But let me check that out again, but just lock into it for a little bit before you add something. Yeah, just stay right there. There it is. Stay right there. I don't know, I mean, it felt better to me. I mean, the only thing I'd say is you start doing anything, really think about the time. What I would always hear in my head, do you sing something? I mean, a good thing to do is like, you know, when you're thinking about groove, I'm just talking about groove now and then we'll get into some questions, but when you're thinking about groove, it's like I always sing something. I'll sing like a bass line, a guitar, in my head. So when you're going, you know, any kind of weird like licks or anything like that, you're really hearing like just, you know, I'm still hearing, you know, some kind of like pulse, either whether it be a shaker going, so you never get off. Well, I guess the reason why I'm talking about like the 2 and 4 is because when my teacher told me that, I thought like, dude, come on, man, you know, I want a solo. Yeah. But I swear, the reason I'm still, you know, I'm like 40 years old right now, and I'm still playing drums and making a living at it, and not a bad one. So, I'm just trying to teach you like what got, you know what I mean? With like, if you want to do it for real, that's all people, you know, want to get into is the time, you know, timing, your feel. Like what dictates what your vibe is. You know what I mean? They want to hire you for your feel and what your thing is. Like as soon as he played, I knew it was someone different than you. Mm-hmm. So just perfecting like where you feel things and stuff like that, you know. Where I was noticing mainly is just like, you know, when you start going off, I lose like, you know, what that feel is and what your vibe is. And then if you lose that, you know what I mean? It's just like, really important. Yeah, I mean, you know, just in the spacing of the beats and how you interpret it or whatever. So, but you want to play? Yeah, okay, so again, like, you know, like right off what I noticed when you started, it was like you started adding stuff right away. And then it became like you're just adding stuff all the time instead of kind of going what I was suggesting, like, you know, lay it down solid. Then when you do something, you know what I mean, show it off. Then go back to the groove. Because after a while, it just starts to sound like, oh, somebody's just because we're talking groove here. I'm just saying, like, what groove is, you know what I mean? So, like, lay down, there's this drummer that plays, his name's Dennis Chambers. I don't know if you know Dennis. Yeah, I mean, he's my hero, right? And so, that's his vibe. I got it from him, because I took some lessons, you know, and just, like, his vibe is, like, he'll lay down a groove, just the simplest thing, and then he'll do a lick that you're just like, what the? You know, like that just blew me out. Then he slips right back into the groove, and then you're just like, wow. You know, then it meant something. So I'd say right now, really quick, just do the same thing like he did. Just like lay the beat down, do something, then bring the beat back.